Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Miracle of Healing. I'm Lisa Campion. I'm so glad that you're here with us. So glad that you're going to join us in this incredible conversation because maybe you've had that moment where you just sort of knew something, but you couldn't explain how, or you felt a presence guiding you through a difficult time. And what if I told you that past life regression could open a doorway to meeting your spirit guides face to face? And that is what we're going to talk about today with our guest, Karen Kubicko. And she's a certified hypnotherapist, past life regression expert who's remembered so many of her own past lifetimes. She was trained by the legendary Weiss, and she has guided so many people into that sort of confluence of past life and working with spirit guides so that you have soul level wisdom come through and get really amazing healing and clarity on your life. In her book, Life's Just Another Class, Karen shares 16 of her own past life journeys and the really profound healing that she received when she listened to the guidance that was waiting on the other side. So today we're going to talk about something really magical, how to recognize when your spirit guides are showing up, what they sound like, and how past life work can become one of the most direct paths to divine connection. So Karen, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lisa. I really appreciate you including me on. I mean, it's just a blessing that so many people are talking about these types of things online.
Yeah, and I'm so curious to hear your journey. I'm also a person that's remembered as a psychic for so many years now, remembered some of my own past lives, but I really want to hear your story about it. So
Gosh.
tell us how you got to be where you are right now.
Well, I'll try to make it a short, quick overview, I guess, because I had a near-death experience when my second child was being born. And, it was, I really have full vivid memories of stepping out of my body during that experience when she was trying to literally break out. And after that happened, I didn't really realize that kind of flipped a switch on me. And I just went about my business, taking care of my babies. I had two of them a couple years apart. And so I was kind of busy with the baby business. But one night I saw a very illuminated person standing in my bedroom and holding her. And I was like, hello, you know what I mean? And I actually thought that her dad had woken up and was caring for her and just real loving scene, looking down at this beautiful little baby. I had just laid her down in her crib and I just had laid down in bed of myself, all in the same room. And when I asked, oh, did she wake up? No response, no look up, no normal, interaction or whatever. And I was like, what the heck? At this point, she was 3 months old. And so I didn't know who to ask because their dad was still sleeping in bed. And I was like, who is this person holding my baby? I had not really opened up to all this fun. I call it fun, coolness, whatever. And I started wondering, well, maybe there's more than just this earth, this humanness, whatnot. So I did what I guess other normal people might do. They seek out a psychic for the first time. And so whenever I talked with him, he happened to mention to me, do you have a daughter? And I said, yes. And he said that she has a very strong third eye. And I really need to help her understand that. I didn't even know what a third eye meant, Lisa. So I started delving into everything I could find. And then finally, when she was about 3.5, I found a book called Children's Past Lives by Carol Bowman. And in the beginning part of that book, she talks about how she was able to heal a breathing issue that she regularly had every year. And so I was like, well, that's interesting because I have asthma, and wouldn't it be fun if I could do the same thing that she did? If she could do it, I can do it. So I started delving into my own past lives. And then that brought me to interacting with my spirit guides, and which is our topic today. And, I didn't know that was even a possibility. I grew up Catholic, Lisa. I mean, guardian angels, you had to be very reverent, and angels, on, something that maybe priests and other higher connected religious figures can connect to, not like a regular person like me. So it was a little bit interesting how all that occurred.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that story. I love hearing people's stories about psychic awakenings. I think it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I think that, there's a lot of conversation about past lives and how that is, and a lot of conversation about spirit guides. But this is really the first time I've talked about them coming together like that.
Oh,
Doing past life regression is a way to contact them. And I just think it's neat that that you saw a guide. Do you think it was a guide that was holding your daughter? It was one of your
well,
guides?
actually, it was my grandfather who had passed 2 years prior. And so, and what I didn't, I mean, I physically saw him standing there, and I didn't know that because why would I think that? Do you know what I mean? I
Right.
just saw this very loving being. I knew that they were wearing very white clothes. When I tune in and think about it, a lot of white. But when I had another psychic tune in to look at the remembrance of that, he helped guide me into like a meditative state to revisit that memory. And then him and my grandmother, who died a month apart, were both standing there, which I didn't see her necessarily straight away, but I saw them again and then could really see them more clearly in that guided way.
Right.
So yeah, it
Beautiful. I
was
love that.
beautiful
Yeah, and
because it
so
was
many people have their psychic awakening happens with a near death experience.
true.
That's a doorway that many people get to this,
It
So
removes that rule that you can't see the other side. You know what I mean?
I always
Or
think we bring like a little piece of that with us. Like we make a connection when we're over there and then we bring that back. That's at least what it was like for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like you break like in this life as a human, you're not supposed to be seeing the other side, and that rule gets broke.
That's
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and no different than how you explained it too. It's like you bring that connection. You've reconnected your ability to really connect to the other side, which isn't that far away.
No, it's really just a shift in our perception, I think.
Agreed.
Um And and so we know that past life work is really healing. Do you feel like most people have some, and I'm a person that spontaneously remembered so many of my past lives, but do you think that people have um experiences of their past lives maybe without knowing it?
Absolutely. I mean, when you I've talked to so many people about this subject. I mean, when you recognize somebody that you never met before, and all of a sudden you're instantly friends, you feel like you've known them forever. Why do you think that is? They've clearly had a connection to you in some form or fashion, and maybe in other lifetimes or multiple past lifetimes. Your family members, you've had other times with them. You know, if you've had dreams of living in a historical place or time and it felt very vivid and very real, or you visited some historical place or an older city and you felt at home there. I mean, I just talked with somebody the other day. He didn't know why he was in some place, and I think it was Spain or something like that. And he knew exactly where to go around the corner, knew that there was going to be a church there and something down this street, and just knew exactly where to go. He had never been there before. Why would he know that?
I
It
think
just
that's so common,
came.
right? Like we feel
Yeah.
like almost compelled to travel somewhere. And I had this
Oh,
from the
yeah.
time I was little, this totally crazy fascination with Japan. And I like moved heaven and earth to go live in Japan, and
Stop. Did
I
you
did
love
live there.
it?
I did. I loved
See?
it. And I was also like fascinated with martial arts, so I became a martial artist and then moved to Japan.
No
And while
way.
I was there, I had so many past life memories of when it was a place that I incarnated a lot, I think.
Did you have
And
a very loving past life there?
I had a pretty rough past life there. I mean,
Interesting.
I think I loved it. I was a samurai and actually had
Oh
to kill
my.
myself. Had to do the
Oh,
like I know it
you're
was kind of intense, but I
my.
feel like that deep love of that country comes from the past life stuff.
For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, where you had a sense of pride, no
Yeah,
doubt.
that's
You
right.
know,
Sort
and
of like I'm going to
sometimes,
die for my country kind of feeling,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've met people that have and even myself, I just love Paris. I mean, I have since I was a little kid for no apparent reason. But I did find out, I had a very loving lifetime there. But I've met other people who just so love this place, this country, this city, this language,
Yep.
unexplainable in this current lifetime.
Unexplainable. So
But it
cool.
is, but it is
Yeah,
explainable. It's connected, right?
that's right. I think so too.
For sure. So
Yeah.
that's cool you
So
get to go there.
let's loop the spirit guides into this.
Yeah.
So how does doing past life work connect us to our spirit guides?
Well, fun fact, Lisa, if you go into a past life and you get to the point where you are right around where you passed, whether you've stepped out of your body, you don't have to re-experience that past life death scene. You can just go right to that point where you're right around the point where you've passed, gonna pass, or have passed. And other beings, Passover people, angels, spirit guides, can come through at that moment. And so I have often, when I'm working with somebody to help them remember a past lifetime, I'm taking them to that space, around that space, somewhere near it, where now that they've stepped out of their physical body, they can start to become aware of whether they can see, hear, feel, know, whatever psychic ability they're utilizing, that an angel is standing there, a spirit guide is standing there, or a past person from that time and from that past lifetime sometimes, but sometimes their past over loved one from this current lifetime pops in, which I was like, wow, that is happening, because that started happening. And I thought that was a great way to really understand that you are so connected with the entire other side. But most of the time I have them connect with their spirit guide, because they can help them understand maybe why they chose this current lifetime, why they worked through that past lifetime. Why did that past lifetime be shown to them? Because I feel like your spirit guides are helping you be guided to that on some level to help you in this current life. It's always about this current life.
Yeah.
But then you can have that real conversation. I've had so many great experiences with customers that have come to me, clients that have wanted to really connect in with their spirit guides in some deep way. They're getting hugs, they're getting insight, they're getting information they wouldn't otherwise have known or understood or heard. And honestly, at that moment, your spirit guides, especially if you reach the point where you're talking to a council member spirit guide, the ones that help you pick out your lifetime and are helping you pick out your life path. And sometimes I like to refer to it as your soul path, because you're picking out on a soul level all of the things that you've gone through in your past lifetime to help you become this human that you are in this current lifetime. They're helping you, and they can help you understand, learn more about. I've had spirit guides show people their Akashic records. I mean, we've gone all over the place with that to really delve into wherever people want to go. It's an amazing interaction, and you never forget it.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I feel like what you said something so intriguing there that that I want to bring up a little bit, which is that it's purposeful, right? And that past lives is not sort of like a party trick, or I mean, it is really cool, but there is a purpose to it, which is to help us understand what's happening in this life, right?
Correct.
So what
Always.
we learn and what we see when we do a past life regression or spontaneously remember our past lives always is sort of like some cleanup work, or some healing needs to happen, or some information or clarity is there to point us to where we might be stuck or struggling in our current life. It's purposeful, right?
Correct. I really like to delve into root causes of whatever's troubling you in this current lifetime, whether you have a fear or a relationship issue or any of those types of things. But, Lisa, there's another thing that can help you with. And I really, really love that this aspect became aware to me, that when you go to visit a past lifetime and you've been an amazing human in some kind of way, where you had psychic abilities or very immense knowledge about some type of aspect of whatever, then you can remember that past lifetime and comprehend and understand the knowledge and everything that you understood in that past lifetime. And now you understand it again in this current lifetime. It's a reconnection of that inner knowledge that's with you on a soul level, not just in that past life stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, I always think of them as like positive karmic brownie points, because we have positive karma too, as,
Absolutely.
not just the negative stuff or unhealed stuff we have to work through. We have like things we learned, things we mastered, things we accomplished, and we get to also pull that forward into this lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, I have even helped people who have no frame of reference for a truly loving lifetime with another human in this current life, where I take them into a past lifetime where they've had a very loving experience, just so they have a frame of reference.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very healing, because how else are you supposed to really feel that and understand that if you haven't ever had that experience in some way?
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful.
that makes sense. Like, because when we access that information, we can tap into sort of the fullness of our record of our all of
Right,
our incarnations, and
right.
like there was a lifetime where you did have that,
For
right?
sure. Yeah, I mean, because it's you don't have to be super rich to be happy and in love. It's really recognizing there's so much more to who you are as this spiritual being. And, any aspect of you that you can bring forward and comprehend and understand in a very beautiful way is going to help you. Whether like you mentioned, where you're uncovering things or clearing out stuff, you know, that fear of germs or water or flying and all that kind of stuff can make sense. And then you're like, wow, now I can go on an
Mhm.
airplane. It's no big deal, or whatever.
Yeah.
And, that's one aspect of why people choose to have a past life memory. But there's so much more you can uncover and connect to. And, it's like for you, it made sense on why you love Japan, right?
Yeah.
It's an open-ended question you didn't have an answer to. And now you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. I love it
Yeah,
so much.
for sure.
And it's really like you said, it's sort of seems to me like it's across all areas of our life. So it might be health issues or relationship
Right.
issues or issues with money. I feel like money is a very karmic thing. Like a lot of times, whatever we're dealing with in our money life is connected to our past life stuff.
Well, and maybe there was a vow of, I don't want to say of poverty, but a vow of having not a lack, in a sense, like if you were
Mm.
in a religious sect or something like
Oh,
that.
those nun and priest vows are
Oh,
really
oh,
hard. They stick
well,
around.
and that is an interesting topic because sometimes people unknowingly make, I'm always going to do this. I commit to this person for that reason, or this idea, or this rule, or whatever. And you're making that on a soul level. And
Yeah.
so then you are aware of it, thankfully, in this current lifetime, for you to go back, undo it, remove it, forgive it, and release it so that you can move forward in this current lifetime in any kind of abundant way, whether it's love and whatever, money, all the
And
stuff.
those monastic vows, poverty, sex, and poverty, chastity, and obedience, can be
Mm-hmm.
a real bummer if you're trying to live a modern life and you're
100%.
still on some level like held back from those things because those
100%.
like that's a tough one.
Yeah, because like then you feel like you're not allowed to experience fun,
Yeah.
passion, all the stuff that we as humans think is normal, you know what I mean, to do. Some people who have committed to those types of vows or commitments, it really holds you back. It's
I
a
think
nice undoing
it
because
is. I think
it's
it's
so
very
free.
liberating. Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
liberating. Yeah.
Yeah, for
And you
sure.
think like when we do this and we have that encounter in the past life regression with the spirit guide, do you feel
Mhm.
like that strengthens our connection to them as we move forward in our
Oh,
life from there?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you a story, Lisa. One of my main spirit guides, her name is Lena. And when I was first remembering, because I talked my girlfriend into helping me remember past lifetimes so that I could do that book. And on Life is Just Another Class. And one day Lena came through and she said to me, and she said, you can ask me anything. You can ask us anything. And I came out of that past life regression and I'm like to my friend, anything, anything? Like, what does she mean by that? I didn't, at that point in my life, I didn't even know, what can I ask a spirit guide? Like, what? It was just like a fun little notice, but very profound, because that really set me on this path that now when I provide a psychic reading to somebody, because I used to truly go into a past life memory, go through the death scene, see my spirit guides. Then I started seeing other people's spirit guides, seeing their past life information being provided to me, and then talk to them about it. After I came out of it, talk to past ever people that way and everything. And then I started practicing just sitting here talking to someone on Zoom or wherever they're located, in person, whatnot, and I can tune in, talk to their spirit guides, see all of their information, that type of thing. And that kind of set me on that path. Just her saying that simple question, that simple statement, you can ask us anything. And so with that being said, now I can ask somebody else's spirit guides to tune in and provide me information, because at one point I said to my spirit guides, let me help other people by getting information from their spirit guides, make that deep connection and allow that to come through. So, I mean, if you go into a past life regression and you start meeting a spirit guide of yours, then you can maintain that connection with them, and they can talk with you about all kinds of things, whatever. I mean, it's an amazing, they're your best friend and they just want to help you. And, you know, they can't interfere in our life unless we ask, you know that, Lisa. And it's our free will choice, right? To have this experience. They can inspire, but they can't help us. So if you get that meaningful connection with them, whether you ask for them to come to you in a dream, I've had people get visions in their daily life, whatever the case may be, or even if you delve into a past life regression and, you know, they're there waiting for you at the end. It's such a magical thing.
It's so cool.
It is.
I think one of the things that happened to me too when I did a lot of past life work was, I mean, I was never really afraid of death because I was psychic as a child. So I was seeing dead people all the time. And I've always known there was something after life. But I had this experience so many years ago, I don't know, 20 or 30 years ago now, where I was doing a vision quest and I went through, it was a rough night because I saw like every time I died, like over and over and over, went on for hours, like this death and I'm in another life and this death. I have to say, yeah, there were some moments that were really, I was like, oh, please, no, not please, God, not this one. And at the end, I was just learned to relax. I'm like, it's going to be over soon. I'm going to be okay. You know, like just relax into it. And the guides would be there. And at the end of that, I was like 100% not afraid of death. Like, you know, cause I'm just like, well, I have so much case evidence. I have a huge case file on like life after death and that we continue on after we pass.
100%.
You know, and yeah, so cool, right?
It is. I mean, I know for me, I used to be like, if you look online, I don't have anything online before 2011. And I had started delving into all this stuff in 2007. I trained with Brian Weiss, which unfortunately he's not even teaching how to do past life regression anymore. But he's so wonderful. But it is, I was afraid to talk online about this because I had some weird fear that I was going to be killed for it. Right.
Mm-hmm. The witch wound, right?
That's why. And so I asked one day why. And so when my friend, she's regressing me, I'm writing this book. I haven't told anybody about it. You know what I mean? And I was shown a lifetime where I was killed for being a metaphysical teacher and teaching and talking about all this kind of stuff. And as I was literally floating away from my body into the light, I recognized straight away, you can't kill me. I'm going to keep on doing this because I'm doing it again in this current lifetime, you know? And at that moment, I had no fear after that. Like I wasn't afraid of death. I wasn't afraid of talking about this. I literally, within 2 weeks after that, I had a website and I had an online presence going on. It was
that's
bizarre.
Such a cool story. That's a cool story. I'm always like noticing the deathbed vow. I think the deathbed vow holds a lot of power, you know?
Gosh.
And if you're on your deathbed and you're like, I'm never going to love again. Or you're like, you know, like you have some, that really sticks. You know what I mean?
Does.
And sometimes we have to go back and unwind that because it's sort of like when we vow those things, especially in those moments, it really leaves a mark on us. Right.
Well, so I definitely know that's a sticky one because when you're here in this humanness, you know, you go through all this stuff, you get a chance to like, oh yeah, I really didn't mean that. And forgiveness of other people who've done harm to you in some kind of way. But if something happens right when you pass, It
Yeah.
sticks more
It
because you
sticks
never got
more.
that chance to resolve it. And then I always say to people when they talk about that same subject, what happens in this earth plane, you kind of have to come back and heal it in the earth plane. You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
though I know when you get to the heaven space and you walk through the light and you go and do all that fun, you're getting a healing from this group of angels, and it's a beautiful, loving experience. It's like Reiki on steroids. It feels so wonderful. They're helping you on a chakra level and more. And I've been asked the question, well, why wasn't that cleared away? And
Right.
sometimes it's such a deep thing, or something that you chose on a soul level to learn or overcome, again, here in this earth experience, that you have to come back and deal with it. And maybe it takes more than one lifetime, unfortunately,
The
to do
really
it.
big ones, I think it
Yeah,
does.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially the love thing.
we have to do it ourselves, right? It's sort of like that's how we learn, and
Right.
especially those big sticky points. Let's talk for a little minute before we have to end about your book. And
Okay.
it sounds really fascinating. Like
Oh,
you
thanks.
had to, you did a lot of past life work. So your book is called Life is Just Another Class. And you did your own, experience your own regressions to help you write that book. Yeah.
Yes. So like I mentioned, I had my friend Jamie. She it's almost in a sense, she committed to helping me to really remember these kind of things. So we'd put the kids on the bus. She'd come over and
Mhm.
we'd do a past life regression. I don't know, maybe once a week or every other week or something like that. And we'd delve in. She'd ask questions for herself, and then we'd delve into whatever we needed to go. And then she'd take notes and I'd type it all in. It took years because it's not something you can just do in one day. But it was quite the experience. I had other past lives come through during that experience time too, but I had to pick and choose the ones that would be most relevant for, and what I had the most information on to sort of make a chapter out of, because some of them are just bits and pieces of memories.
Right.
I don't know
Cool.
if that
Wow.
answered your question all the way, but
And if people wanted to get your book, where would they get it?
so you can go on my website at karenkubicko.com. I have links to all my stuff. I actually have on my YouTube channel, I've read out loud some of the chapters so you can listen to it. You can also go on Amazon, and that's where I have all my information for my books too as well.
Cool. And you still working with people, teaching classes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I work with people every day all over the world. It's great. I love every second of it.
Right. So you work in a way now where people don't have to be in, in the same room with you to get this information, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to
Amazing.
just do in person, one-on-one, but not thankfully for COVID, people got more comfortable with the Zoom and
Yeah.
working online and all that kind of stuff. So I've literally worked with people all over the world to remember a past life, to get a psychic reading, and I am pretty close to pushing the button on. I'm going to teach classes online and put that out there as well,
Good.
Lisa. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Amazing. I hope you
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
fun. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I always love talking to other psychics. It's sort of my favorite thing to do. I do love it.
Nice.
And thank you so much, Karen, for being on the show with us. It was such a fascinating conversation.
Thank you, Lisa. I do appreciate you having me on. What a great conversation. Thank you.
And thanks all you guys for tuning in. I hope that you thought that was as amazing as I did. If you want to find me, you can find me at lisacampion.com. I work with emerging psychics, healers, and empaths to really help them understand and step into their gifts, because I think the world needs all the healers it can get. And thanks for being with us today on the Miracle of Healing, where we are saving the planet, healing the planet, one person at a time, right here on the Empower channel.